Hello, this is Teacher Wayne, and I'm continuing my zombie series on making a zombie shoot 'em up. The last video, we changed the code for the zombie. We had the zombie so that he could take damage, and it had introduced the dying animation. So we added these elements of the code. I've given a link to this code in the last video. But literally these have what been added, this area here. So now let's talk about the player. So the player is going to shoot the zombie. Now the two parts to it is, it's going to be a bit more complicated. I'll see how well we get in this video. But first thing we need to do is this pistol has one concept we want to sort of do at some stage is give it an ammo amount. Like I said, it takes 10 points of damage to kill that zombie. We need 10 bullets, obviously. If each bullet does 1 point of damage, we need 10 bullets. Depends how much damage you want to do per bullet. So let's have a look at the code for the player. Look at the player. We've got this here. One things we want to consider is at the top here, maybe we want to add some sort of ability to sort of have the amount of ammo we've got. So I'm going to add an extra variable to discuss how much ammo we've got. So I want to create a variable for ammo. It's going to be an int because you can't have parts of ammo, you have a number of bullets. I'm going to call it ammo. And I'm going to set it to 10. We have a clip size of 10 for our pistol. And also we're going to have, we need a link to our animation controller for the pistol. We talked about it in a previous video. So we just simply go public. Gun animation GA. We're going to eventually link that to our gun animation. And then another thing we need to do is we need to set it so that we can detect whether we've shot or not shot. So we're just simply going to go private bool shooting equals false, so we're not shot yet. There's that really. We've added these 3 lines here. One is the amount of ammo we've got. Gun animation. I'm actually going to increase this to 15 to allow us to miss the zombie. Makes it a little bit easier. The next thing we want to do is we need to set the gun animation to idler. So we simply set GA idle. Actually tells you there idle. If you look here, gun animation, we want it to access this function called idle. Public, you can see there 2 references. It's telling me that's linking GA idle. Can you see it's automatically linked to the code? If you get your game set up right, it can actually does it for you. Can you see there we are, gun animation idle? So it sets the animation state to the gun is in an idle animation, which is what we want. So I set it to idle. That turns the mouse cursor off. All that business there. Now the update thing, we're going to have to add something. We need a way of detecting the player having the mouse, detecting whether the mouse button's been pressed. So simply enough, we got if. And then we got input. Get mouse, I think it's called mouse. Yeah, there, can you see? I'm typing it in, it tells me what to do. Down. I want it to be button 0, which is the left hand mouse button. And also, we want to simultaneously check we've got the ammo. So we've got, where's the hands? Wrong one. can't find the right code. I'm looking for ampersand on the keyboard, which I think is there. It's Shift 7 for me on my keyboard to get them. That means if you press the mouse button and our, in brackets, our ammo is greater than 0, then we can shoot. Obviously, we've got no ammo, we can't shoot. Simple. So then, first thing we do is we set the animation state to shooting for the pistol. It's straightforward, isn't it? So we animate ourselves shooting. And then we're going to create a little function called shoot. Call it shoot. Now, obviously, it's going to have some errors. What I like to do is I don't like seeing errors, I just comment it out. So we need to create a function called shoot. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a function called shoot. Now, this is where it gets complicated, and I warn you in advance, this is complicated. Do a video on this on its own, but I'm going to do it quite quick. So I'm going to create shoot. In fact, what I can do is now created it. I'll comment that out because it links to that. Oh, it's because it's capital S. Shoot. We'll make sure that that's spelled exactly the same as that. Shoot. Right. Now I've got a variable called shooting. So first thing we want to do we want to set shooting. Oh. Sometimes you got to be very careful. Shooting equals to true. I mean, what I could also do here, just thinking, we don't want to shoot, because if you keep spamming your button, you don't want to keep spamming the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little function here to allow a pause, to allow the sort of shoot mechanism to happen. Like I was thinking, if you have like a half-second delay, so you can't spam the button, the 0 button, more than half a second. You can see what I'm doing with my hand, like a recoil mechanism. So we can say if, but exclamation means it's not shooting, then we can shoot. That sounds a bit ironic, that does. But if that shooting variable is set to false, then we can shoot. Because as soon as we set it to, we can't shoot again. Allows only to shoot once until this variable gets reset. Allows us to put a delay in. Allows us to stop spamming the bullets out. We're not a machine gun, we're a pistol. Okay. So obviously we want to reduce our ammo. Reduce it by 1. This is a good idea. Now this is where it gets complicated, and I'm going to copy and paste this code from what I've already written, and I'll explain it the best I can. Right. Give me a second on just on that little zombie. I just said, oh, it's zombie capital H. So this here right, this bit I've just copied and pasted here. Right, the way I explain it is we have a camera that's looking forward. At we point, if we send from that camera a ray of light forward, we want to know where it hits in that screen, that imaginary ray of light. It's called a ray. So if we look here, ray, we're shooting a ray into the screen. And what we're saying here is from the camera, screen point to ray, in other words, whereabouts in the screen we want to hit. We want to hit the screen width divided by 2 and the screen height divided by 2. So we want to hit right in the middle. What's in the middle of our screen? I'll tell you what's in the middle of our screen. Oops, wrong button. we've got a target reticule that's right in the middle. So in other words, wherever the center of that is, whatever hits, whatever's in front of that is what we're looking at. So what that ray of light, whatever it hits, it comes back as this, what's known as hit info. It just relays back whatever we hit, whatever this ray of light hits. In other words, what our bullet, imaginary bullet, would hit. So we say if it's hit something, and if it's hit the zombie, can you see hit info transform.tag zombie? Now this is where it's very important. Can you see the zombie? The zombie is untagged here, so it wouldn't hit anything. So we're going to create a tag here. I'm going to create it as capital zombie. Save. Zombie. Change that to zombie. So it's going to hit this zombie. Not the name, the tag. The player should be named as player as well. So I hadn't changed that previously. If you don't do that change, it will never hit the zombie because it's never tagged. This, I'm spending some time. Hopefully you're watching my video and you'll see that that's the zombie there, which is there. Capital Z, by the way. Capital Z there. Okay, pay attention. This is very important. That zombie has to match the tag of the zombie, which is why we tag everything. So we're hitting the zombie. The question is, we're going to eventually have lots of zombies. Which zombie? So this one targets the exact zombie, and can you see we've got the zombie hurt function I talked about in the last video? There's the zombie hurt. So it literally, it literally will call and do damage just to that one zombie. If we've got 10 zombies, it'll only hurt one zombie. I hope that is clear. I'm going to save that. Now the one thing that I'm missing here is a quiz. See if anyone's listening. Put in the comments now in the video, what do you think we need to do? I'll give you a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. We shot. We set it to true. Will we ever be able to shoot again? No. We need to reset. Here we need to reset shooting. So we need a little function called shooting reset. And I'm going to literally add it there. Shoot reset. And we're going to create a little delay routine called shoot reset. I'm going to scroll it right down at the bottom. I like to put all these at the bottom. Shoot reset. And I want it a delay of, say, half a second. Get rid of that there. And also it just resets the animation. Do we need to do that? Yeah, probably. Because obviously we're going to set it with shot and make sure it goes back to that. So we are shooting. It does a reset. And then in 1.5 a second, it resets the shooting to false. That means you can only press the fire button once every half second. If you want to go faster, you'd reduce that. Obviously, you've got to remember there's an animation sequence. If you get that too fast, you won't be able to fulfill the animation sequence. So I'm going to save that. Now the question is, does this work? So shall we have a look? Now I've got it. Oh yes, I know exactly what's happened here. So I'll press stop. I've added loads of extra stuff. So the player, first of all, if you look here, I've got no gun animation, so we need the pistol, drag it there. So it links to the pistol animation. So can you see it? I've added this bit here. Zombies got nothing that we really care about. It's got a health bar, but it won't affect. Anyway, something, let's press play. See what happens. Still a bad thing. Right, just give me 1 second, please.